Hello out there in the VIP club. This is Tuesday. Bob, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
What's going on, Bob? Good to see you, dude.
You too. You too. Good to see everybody.
Yeah, cool. Good. How's your week been so far?
It's going good. A little busy, a little hectic. Got some stuff going on, but we're moving along. How about you?
Same here, man. Same here. It seems to be the climate, huh? Opportunity with difficulty.
That's it. That's the combination.
How come nothing in life just falls in place and is easy?
It's supposed to be like that, isn't it? Come on.
Why is it all the stuff I want seems to like be a little bit more complicated to come by? Yeah. Why is it that I only want the things that are hard to get? Like if it's easy to get, it's like a defect. It's a mental defect. My body's fine, so my mind is messed up. That's what they. So I saw you posting some good things in the group lately, Bob, about short sales and so on and so forth. And actually, I want to share screen and just show some of that if it's all right with you.
Cool.
Yeah, let me share some of this here. I want to share the computer screen and jump right over here to this. Here we go. All right. 4 ways to sell a home for less than the mortgage balance. Guys, if you don't know Bob, let me introduce him real quick. Sorry. I take it for granted that folks are familiar with Bob. You may not be familiar with Bob. Bob Vieira is our resident short sale expert here at Real Estate Wholesalers Club. He is the guy to go to if you've got a underwater. What's that mean, underwater? They're drowning. What a horrible metaphor. I mean, if you think about it, right?
It really is. It makes it so dramatic.
Yeah, these folks are underwater. They're drowning, which means, yeah, they owe more than it's worth is what it technically means. But so if they owe more than it's worth, that's a short sale prospect. If they're in default too, if they're in trouble with it. So you got to turn that over to Bob, unless you know how to do them, which I don't. I don't know how to do them. I know there's a couple guys in the VIP club here that have done short sales.
Mm.
I'm not ashamed to say that I'm not one of those guys, and it sounds, from what I know of it, to be a fairly complicated process to do a short sale as an investor. Takes some time, lots of effort. I'm curious, Bob, when you write articles like this, this was geared towards the homeowner, right?
Geared towards the homeowner, but really it's for investors and agents too, because it's always good to, when you're trying to help someone in that situation, it's good when you're talking to them on the phone or at their kitchen table to know some of their options. Like it's good to say, hey, look, these are a couple of your options, short sale, deed in lieu, stuff that you can consider. So it's just good to be versed on it. But I mean, yeah, like if you're going to read it extensively, it's for the homeowner for sure.
Okay. So yeah, it's good education for us though. 4 options for selling a house with negative equity. So this is the homeowner's options. Number 1, do a short sale. Okay. We were just talking about that. Mm-hmm. And Bob is our resident short sale expert here. Number 2, compensate with difference with personal funds. In other words, the homeowner would have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Cash money out of their savings account, which really, number 2 doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because if they're in default, they probably don't, in other words, they're behind on payments. They probably don't have a large savings somewhere, or they'd be making the payment with it, right? So
yeah.
Probably not a really good option for folks that are in this boat. So probably not to pay with cash, but they might be, it's a small world, and grandma's got a lot of money sometimes. So maybe that's how some folks come out of it. Number 3, increase the property value. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's say it was 1,000 square feet house. It's worth 100,000. They owe 110 now, and they're behind on payments. Even if they were able to square up with the bank and somehow continue to make payments, they would. Here's an option for them to fix the underwater part, because they still owe all the fees and BS there, right, to the bank. And I mean, it adds up fast going through foreclosure. So they could increase the property value by, let's say, adding on a 2-car garage, or, something. This is a tough option. Again, it's going to take a lot of money probably to increase the value of a property. What are your thoughts on that, Bob?
Easier said than done. I mean, it's way easier said than done. I mean, typically someone in that situation, you have to get a loan, which, like, a lot of people, if you're not a real estate investor, you're not savvy enough to get like a private loan or a hard money loan. So really that's not an option. You have to somehow come up with the money and then add value to the property. I mean, rarely do you see this. Now, one thing I'll say is I'll talk to people, and a lot of people, let's say they're in a short sale situation and, they own an investment property that they bought a couple of years ago and it's just a mess. They'll tell me, hey, look, I don't want to do a short sale. We're going to put money into this thing. I'm going to rehab and fix it up. But the fact of the matter is, most people, they don't have the financial capabilities and really the know-how on how to do it. It's an idea in their head, but they have trouble executing it really.
Yeah. Option two is expensive. 3 looks expensive. 4, build more equity before the sale. What do you mean here, real quick, Bob?
So, like, building equity before the sale would kind of be not necessarily fixing it up. It's kind of doing other things to add value, paying down debt. It's just another option that's on the table, but it's unlikely. If you're able to pay down debt and just add equity in any way possible, really, just to build your equity out. Maybe the market will turn. Like I said, it's unlikely. It's just an option on the table.
So if they're underwater, meaning they're owing more now than the property's worth, and the bank is starting to chase them for the payments, and they've got a Liz Pendens letter in the mail and all this stuff, really, out of the 4 options, 2, 3, and 4 doesn't sound like much of an option for most people.
Yeah. Sure.
And so that leaves option number 1, which is Bob doing a short sale. So yeah, I thought that's pretty educational when you start to see things from the homeowner's perspective. And guys, let me tell you, that is paramount. I mean, in this business, if you don't see it from the motivated seller's perspective, chances are you're not getting the deal. If you got that deal and you didn't understand why, you got lucky. So, I thought that was pretty good insight to what it's like for these homeowners. There's not a lot of place to run for them if they're in foreclosure.
Yeah, but that's a good point. I mean, even when you're talking to the homeowner, you need to understand their situation, like Justin said, and really you want to understand their options. So, like, again, you're sitting at the kitchen table, you're on the phone, you could kind of, you don't have to be an expert, but like you should be able to know enough over the phone to say, hey, look, I'm not sure I could help you with this thing, but these are a couple routes you can go. Short sale, deed in lieu, if you have some cash laying around, you could build equity, stuff like that. You just want to be able to talk educationally to the seller.
Yeah, absolutely. And a good perspective on what folks are, their options are running out, really. This is what it amounts to, in my opinion. Their options are running out, like they really are. Can you imagine what it would be like if you were behind on payments on your house where you live with your family, where your kids have gone to school for the last 7 or 8 years, and now the bank is tacking on all this fees and penalties and whatever else stuff it's called, and now you owe more than the property's worth. Okay. Yeah. God. Whew. Talk about stress on your head, right? Like that's pressure on your head, And what do you do when you run into those folks? I was going to play that little video clip, but I think I'll just let Bob tell us, because when you run across those, you can do a short sale yourself, sure, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how, so that's why I love knowing Bob, because Bob is a great resource for me if I run across a lead that is like this. You can't wholesale a deal like that.
Yeah.
No.
And that's the key. They're tough to wholesale. I mean, these aren't deal. I mean, these are definitely deals that are motivated sellers, which are perfect for your guys' business model. But piggybacking off of what Justin said, if your main strategy is to assign contracts when you have equitable interest, these deals aren't going to work for you with that, with that business style, because when the bank approves a short sale, let's say you put an offer into the bank for like 60 grand and you could flip it to a buyer for 70. Bank approves it at 60, great. Problem is that short sale approval letter that they're going to issue, it's in your name as the buyer. So the only way you could really make the deal happen is if you kind of you would have to back out of the deal, plug someone else in, which is complicated, or you'd have to double close it if there's no deed restriction. So, I mean, really, it's there's no way to have a clean assignment contract with these types of deals. So instead of just letting them go as like a dead lead and passing on them, my short sale company, we have a referral program. You just go to our website. We literally have a wholesaler referral form. It's super simple. You just fill it out. I send you a signed contract guaranteeing the payment at the end of it. And then I have a process to keep you updated. It's virtually no work from you, and we pay $500 a lead.
It's good. It's good, because used to you got paid $0 a lead.
Yeah. Yeah. You're actually really, I mean, depending on what you do to get leads, like if you're pounding the phones yourself, then yeah, it's just sweat equity. Like if you're doing Google PPC campaigns, SEO stuff, if you're paying VAs to cold call, then really your dead leads you're losing money on, because you're putting out the marketing dollars, right, and you're down money. So yeah, this way you could recoup some money and even profit from these dead deals.
Absolutely. And what a great time to be aware of this tool, because upcoming we suspect there to be a lot more pre-foreclosures going on. Right?
Yeah, I just posted something actually a couple hours ago in the group for you guys. The unemployment rate, I mean, it's just below 8%. And really the sad part is that's considered an improvement from when the pandemic started. So, I mean, it's crazy. It's double what it was before the pandemic, and people are considering that an improvement. So going to be a lot of people out there with, losing their jobs. They're going to have to sell. So, it's something you want to pay really close attention to on the local level, for sure.
8%. Wow. Man,
crazy, right?
I bet it's more than that, to be honest with you.
You think?
Yeah. I bet they're not counting everybody, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? We could dive down that rabbit trail and never come back, probably. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's we all know it. I mean, coming from lockdown, which, look at my hair, man. Holy jeez.
Yeah.
I need to, I'm starting to look like a mad scientist.
Yeah. Speaking of those lockdowns, don't forget, guys, like a lot of the countries opening up, you still have big cities that are still on lockdown.
Yeah, we are too. I mean, basically.
You guys are too? I didn't know that. Kansas City?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So sucks. We're not out of this thing yet. Economically speaking, we're not out of this thing yet.
Well, I could go get a haircut, but see, it would take extra effort on my part, and I don't really want to. It's like I just want to go get a normal haircut. It's funny, but we all know that the economy is, and the situation of the United States future is very questionable. Like, we don't know what's going to happen next, and what all the data is pointing to a downturn in the housing market, which probably will happen maybe sooner rather than later. I don't know. But, there's people already hurting from this lockdown stuff. And I saw a clip of Back to the Future yesterday, and the guy was like 1.21 gigawatts, 1.21 gigawatts or whatever. I was like, that dude, I'm starting to look like him, This lockdown shit's getting hard, man. So, Bob, anything else you'd like to share with us? Any questions for Bob here in the Zoom room about short sales or about anything that he was talking about, unemployment, moratoriums, anything? All right.
One thing to keep in mind, guys, too, when I post that stuff, it's not just for like short sale related. I try to add as much value to your guys' business, and like, so you want to pay attention to like the unemployment rates, to the forbearances and all that stuff, but on a local level. So like, I don't want to say ignore the national statistics, but this one's going to be a bit different from the 0809 in my opinion, because there's going to be some markets I think that are going to be totally cool. They're going to breeze through this, no big deal. Then there's other markets that I think are going to get whacked, and there's going to be tons of opportunity for people in your business. Pay attention. The thing I'd say is focus on state by state level, and then focus on like a county and a city level. You want to look at the distress that's happening on a micro level. It's going to be real important.
Yeah, guys. Good time to get familiar with your local market if you're not familiar with your local market. I'm excited, guys. I think we are on the precipice of greatness. I really do. There's a great opportunity coming on the horizon here, and I want to be ready for it. I'm gonna be ready for it. How about you guys and gals? I hope so. We're trying to help you too. Hey, Bob, I appreciate you stopping by today, man. Unless anybody has any questions for you, I'll bid you adieu until next week, man. Go to universalshortsales.com and just register with the guy. Okay, that's all you got to do, so you can send him those short sale leads when you find them, and he'll take them over and pay you out when he completes the deal. So yeah, universalshortsales.com. Bob, love you, dude. Thanks for stopping.
Thank you, sir. Love coming on. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad you stopped by, man.
Have a good one, everybody.
So let's talk about handling objections, everybody. Anybody got any questions or anything they want to share? I know there's lots of great stuff coming out of the VIP club right now. And one-on-one students of mine. I just got a text message from Nick saying, let me read it. I want to read this. This is a text message. He said, "Hey, dude, you'll be proud. Stoked about our one-on-one tomorrow because $ arrow, I got her done. Well, almost. Still need to sell it." Okay. So in other words, he got a deal under contract. Long story short, lease option for $360K when the property is valued at $397K. Yeah, I want to talk about how much fee he can add. And good job. Hey, good job, Nick. Lots of good stuff happening out there, guys. I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're getting something out of it at least. These day-to-day routine recommendations. So like Sunday, I put something there on the group that said in the VIP that said, "Hey, it's scraping Sunday," and then yesterday we had marketing Monday where we're setting up our marketing for the week, and then on Thursday we're going to have texting Thursday, and then we're going to have phoning Friday, and then signatures Saturday. Boom, boom. I hope you guys are getting something out of that. Hope you're enjoying that. I am. Tag into my routine. If that's a struggle, see, my hope is if that's your struggle is the routine and getting on a routine, then follow Big Brother here. I'll be your big brother. Okay. That's the way I like to think of it anyway. I'll just be your big brother and you can follow me, imitate me. Okay. While I do real estate. Okay. Just imitate me. So if I'm doing a scrape on Sunday, you do a scrape on Sunday. Scrape Zillow and Craigslist. If I'm doing text, setting up marketing on text blasts on Monday to go out Thursday, then do that on Monday with me. And then Thursday, let's make some pre-qualification calls to those leads. Okay. Then Friday, see my leads, the texts go out at 3:00 on Thursday. Just in case anybody wants to know what time of day on Thursday we get started, as late as possible. 3 p.m. on Thursday. Okay, so on Thursday, make some pre-qualification calls. On Friday, we're going to do more of that, and we're going to start trying to close people, right? And then Saturday, we're going to even have some more follow-ups to do. Hopefully, just nothing on Saturday but follow-ups, meaning people we didn't close Thursday and Friday. Okay, so that's kind of the routine. And Sheila from the VIP was asking me if there's a document with that written down on it. I'm like, I've made 100 videos about it, but I don't know if I've ever written it down, like on something for you guys. So I might work on that. That might help a little bit. But anyway, hopefully these announcements are being helpful. If you were curious as to what that is, when you see those, that's what that is. I'm trying to plug you into my rhythm here so that you can do a deal every month. Okay. And, that is the rhythm. That is my rhythm. Okay. You can have a different rhythm though. Let me throw that in there. You can have a different rhythm. It doesn't have to be the same as mine, but you need a rhythm. You need a rhythm. What's every great song that you've ever danced to? What's it had in common with every other great song you danced to? I already gave it away, right? It's got that bass. Yeah. And the bass with the drums forms the rhythm. And that's what we like. All right. So got to get that rhythm. Any questions in here, guys, about anything going on in your business? Congratulations to Nick. Good for you, sir. What's up, Mag?
What's up, Justin? Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of what I've been seeing
Okay.
from my perspective here.
Yeah.
And of course, everything here is a little bit different. But from my market, right, I see a lot of people are, so maybe investors, they purchased the home and they put it on the market. Actually, they purchased the home, they probably rehab it, right? The home they purchased, and I see it on PropStream, like they purchased for like 200K. The house is worth, on the comps probably 350. They put it on the market for like 520. So my question is, and that's not only, I see a lot of people doing this, right? And when I call them up, they're like, oh, I can do, they wanted to work with me, but I'm like, those numbers don't make sense. So when I go back and I plug the numbers in, it doesn't really make sense. So in this case, would you recommend something or would you let it sit? I mean, is there anything that we can do? At least option would have worked because the house we appreciate, it won't appreciate from 300 to 500, right? So what would you say in these scenarios?
Yeah. I had a situation similar to that this week. Holy shit. Look at my hair. I can't even believe it, guys.
Yeah, it's going. You're a mad scientist.
Hold on. I'm going to fix this. There
That's
we
why I
go.
got the head on. I gotta get a haircut next week. It's been crazy.
Okay. There. I look more normal now. All right. Yeah, I had a situation like that this week myself. And that is, I called this lead. And the lady's like, well, I want, I believe the numbers was, I want 375 and it's worth, she was like, it's worth 458 or something. It's like 458 million is what she should have said, because it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, she's got her numbers all out of whack. Because I went, long story short, I went to PropStream and I started trying to figure out what's the real deal with these numbers. And I'm like, it's not worth 456. It's not worth 375. I'm like, okay, so what is it worth? Well, it turns out it's worth like 225.
Gosh.
You know, and I'm like, okay, what am I missing here? What am I missing? Okay. The only thing that I know to do from my experience in this business is either one, trust your numbers on PropStream after you've given it a real look. That's option one. And if you trust your numbers, then you're probably just going to walk away. The other thing you could do, which is what I recommend doing, is checking your numbers out, getting a really good idea of what you think it's worth and why, and that number's different than the number that she's giving you. And then call the homeowner and say, hey, I'm trying to write up an offer for you right now, but I got stuck. Can you help me with something? Oh yeah, I'll help you. So if I write an offer for you, you'll help me out, right? Right. Yeah, I'll help you. What do you need? Okay. Well, we were talking about the property being worth this much, and you're asking this much. Are there some properties around there that have sold for that much that you can give me the addresses for, or like, I'm having a hard time justifying that number, is what I'm saying, by other sold properties in the neighborhood. Just have a real talk with her and say, hey, I'm just curious how you came up with that number. Okay, if you didn't do that in your guts call, maybe you just had a pre-qualification call already and you didn't have your guts call yet. Okay, in your guts call, you should be finding that stuff out. You should be finding out, remember the money question? There's a money question in there. I'm going to show it to you right now. Let me let folks in the room here. This is the money question. In the qualification stage, remember the first one is why, and the second one is money. I always ask them, hey, what are you asking for the property and what do you think it's worth? I always ask those two questions in one. Okay, and this is important. Why she's asking what she's asking, because it's possible, it's probably not likely, but it's possible that yes, you're not finding comparables that value to that, but there's some special reason why that property is worth that much more and you're just unaware. Okay, it could be. It's a strange world. Stranger things have happened. So long story short, you got to call the lady back if you haven't and ask her, hey, why did you price it at that? I'm having a hard time finding some numbers for it to justify it. Can you help me out? Now, this may also lead to a conversation that looks more like, okay, you just pulled a number out of your hat. Okay, do you realize that the properties around that property have sold for 225, not 556? Just asking a question of the homeowner. I'm talking about I'm imitating like I'm talking to the homeowner. Are you aware that the properties that have sold recently in that neighborhood have sold for about 225? You have this one priced at 375 and you think it's worth 456. Let's have a real, you're having an adult conversation. Now she may say, oh, well, yes, I realize that, but this house here sits on 12 acres and the Queen of England comes once a year and she rides the horses in our stable. Okay, well, shit, that might be different. You know, there might be some details I'm missing, but chances are not. Okay, chances are she's she's just looking to strike it rich on a property, or she has huge sentimental value. You know, Greg said he knows why the house is worth so much. It has those great Japanese maples on the property that you could sell the seeds and make the payment. Greg remembered that one. That's great. Yeah, what was that? Some lady we called, or some guy we called on the VIP one day.
New Jersey. One of Mag's leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy had
Justin?
Japanese maples that we were supposed to collect the seeds from, and after we purchased the property, we were going to be able to sell the seeds to make the payment.
Hey, Justin,
What's up, Greg?
I know we heard your conversation to her, and I think maybe we also heard the initial conversation with Ace.
Yeah.
That's the one we're talking about, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't hear the initial conversation with Ace, so
In
feeling a
one
little
of those
unprepared.
conversations, I thought she did give an example of a couple of houses in the area that sold for those high dollar figures, but I don't know. I think I remember that.
Yeah, I looked into it, man, and I can't find them.
Okay.
I mean, I can't find any comps that justify that purchase price that she's describing, that value she's describing. Now, that particular deal would have still probably worked, though, Greg. It is in Texas, and there is some complications to doing deals in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it would have still worked. However, they're just not quite ready. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You heard her tell me on that phone call that she was had a realtor coming out this week, and she was going to talk to her husband to see if they would consider something creative and all that. Okay, I'm just going to have to follow up with that lady because she's not ready to. That tree's not ready to fall yet. You know, that's really what that amounts to. But the numbers are screwy on that one too. I don't quite know what to think just yet. I feel like really she's got it priced about right where it should be, probably. If that makes sense. So like I think it's not worth all that much more that she was saying. I think it's worth about what she's asking. So maybe even a little less. But I don't see what she was saying. Does anybody have any comments on that? I mean, it's possible that you guys know more about this than I do, because this lead actually came from Arturo. I didn't even catch the part of the show when he was on it talking about it. He just sent me a lead and I dialed the phone. So that's about what I knew.
Yeah, he showed us on Friday. It was a pretty house that he found, and and he told us that he was gonna, give it to you because it could be a lease option. So that was pretty much it. And then I know you guys called, but I didn't know what was the outcome of it.
Yeah. Well, she's in a follow-up. She's in my follow-up list now, so we'll be following up with her because it's possible to see that she and her husband aren't ready for something creative today, but that doesn't mean that they won't be ready for something creative in a week or in a month or 6 months. Okay, so I don't know. Remember, her motivation was what? Why did they want to move? Did anybody remember? I do. I'll tell you if you don't remember.
She said something about her husband being sick, right?
He's in a wheelchair, bro. Right?
Yeah.
If I remember right, he's in a wheelchair, and they're trying to get back to California and be close to some family or something.
Sounded like she was motivated, but maybe not now because they have to pack up or talk.
You know what? Yes. they're motivated. No, that's not it, man. They're motivated, but they're also very wealthy. It sounds
Mm.
like. It sounds like to me. Well, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
very wealthy, but I mean they got some money. See, because they already bought that house in California they've already paid for it.
Wow.
They
Yeah.
already have the house they're going to, and this one here. So there's no real payment problems for them. They just don't want the hassle of having to come back to this one in Texas for any reason whatsoever. When they leave, they want to leave and never come back. Most people are going from California to Texas, and these people are trying to get out of Texas and go to California.
That's nuts.
I mean, Joe Rogan even left.
Yeah.
So
Everybody's leaving. It's a mess.
So if everybody's leaving, Victor, man, isn't that some opportunity for you to sell or to gain some of those things? And I know people are still going from even from other countries, going to California. Are you snatching up all those properties?
That's exactly right. Sorry about the camera. I don't know. Oh, there it is. A little focus problem. So there
cool.
seems to be a lot. There seems to be a lot of people who are marketing to foreign investors to come to California. So that is a thing that's actually going on. Californians themselves are dealing with, with some high taxation, some potential new taxes coming out of this next election. It's a mess right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of, misguided thinking in terms of some of the policies and everything. I haven't been on a lot too, because I'm actually getting ready to go to Nevada myself here. By the end of this month, I'll be out of here too. So
you moving?
yeah, I'm moving to Las Vegas.
Where you going, man? In Nevada?
Las Vegas.
Wow, dude, I love Las Vegas, man.
Yeah, man. So you guys can come and we can have a party. We can, we have room to rent out because ain't nobody there.
I love it.
Actually, there are people there, way more than there should be.
Man, that's cool.
Victor,
Yeah,
if I go, just remember, man, what happens in Vegas, it stays in
It
Vegas.
stays in Vegas. Your secrets are safe with me. The secrets are safe with me, buddy.
Ooh, man, that's cool.
Mhm.
That knowing Victor Walker's there adds a whole new dimension of party to Las Vegas for me, I think.
It's on now, but it's on and crackling.
Hey,
like
Justin.
I'm gonna hit you up and be like, hey, meet me up at the White Castle on the Strip, man. No. Sandra,
Justin.
what's
Hi.
going on?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So yesterday I did the text blast
Yeah.
and I received a response from a lady where she's, and I didn't know how to read this because I didn't understand the second sentence that she responded. But she said, I'm not interested in renting. I really need it out of my name so that I can buy another home. We have an FHA loan that is 100% assumable at 2.75%. Why would she share that second sentence with me? Is that like a subject too? Like, is that?
No.
No.
There's it's an assumption. Okay. This is a totally different technique, and it's practically a dead technique, to be honest with you. Like it's almost unheard of. At least for me. And I haven't heard of it. This is the first time I've heard of it in a long while. But I have heard of it. And so an assumption though is what? Somebody define an assumption for me. Anybody know what an assumption is?
Just
You
taking over her
assume
loan?
The underlying mortgage.
Oh.
You assume the underlying mortgage and probably do a wrap for part of the rest of the equity. And of course, you're actually making the payments on them, and you are the mortgagee at that time. If you assume it.
Okay.
So there are two types of assumptions. I'm sorry, Sandra, go ahead.
So sorry to interrupt you. So I looked up her, like the equity for the house came up, like with the CRM that I'm using, and it said the equity in parentheses, which I've never seen before. I don't know if that means it's negative, but it's in parentheses and it says 97. It's like over 97,000, but it's in parentheses. Is that significant? The fact that it's in parentheses?
What platform were you looking at your data at?
So I have REI Pro.
REI Pro. Anybody familiar with REI Pro enough to know if the parentheses means a negative equity position?
Because I've seen it before where it's been just a regular number, and then I've seen it where it's been a negative number, and this one here, it's in parentheses. So maybe that's something I have to look, just at maybe.
One of us here in the room that has prop stream, if you put it in the chat here in the Zoom room, Sandra, put it in the chat here in the Zoom room, what maybe if you're willing to, what the address is. One of us here can look it up on prop stream maybe and tell you what we think the equity may be based on that machine, and then maybe that'll tell us the answer if we compare that data to some other data. Yeah.
Okay, I just went ahead and did that. And,
okay, great. So it's in the chat room here. Anybody with prop stream, Rick, or anybody that can lend a hand here, just throw that in there and give us your opinions on that. We're helping a fellow VIP member here.
Thank you.
Two kinds of assumptions though, guys. What are they? Anybody know? Qualified and what does that mean?
Oh, qualified. Would that mean where you actually
qualified
take the loan?
In both positions, you're assuming the loan. You're
Qualified, I bet you have to go through underwriting.
Oh yeah.
Is that it?
Oh yeah, baby. Okay. You got it. Nailed it. Ding ding ding. Greg, 10 points on the board. Quick. Yeah, Rick.
I didn't do a deep dive on this property, but it just for like a real quick high level look down, looks like the estimated equity showing around 14K.
Okay.
So that 7 is probably an estimated equity. I mean, prop stream's a little bit different, right? But that's just what it's showing now.
What's the estimated fair market value?
$276.
Okay, there you go. Is that helpful? Is that helpful, Sandra, or do you need other data?
No, it's helpful. I just didn't know. I just didn't understand that second sentence. I just want to ask you guys, so because I'm not familiar with that.
So what you got to find out, Sandra, is this a qualified assumption or a non-qualified assumption? Chances are it's a qualified assumption, which means somebody's going to have to go put their social security number down on the line and show their bank statements and their tax returns and financially undress in front of FHA and have them approve for you to take over that loan. Okay. So
all right.
What do we do with the loan? What do we do? Okay. We're just BSing here. Okay. So we're not necessarily telling Sandra what to do, but what are some things that we could, or maybe we couldn't do with this property? Is this what's our thoughts? What's the general consensus here on this particular deal? If it was yours, what would your thoughts be? Are we going to jump to conclusions here, or is there some questions we could ask that maybe would lead us to a deal? Anything here? Any thoughts?
I would want to look at condition. I mean, if the estimated equity is only 14K, I would try to do a little digging to see how I could bring that to be a little bit more attractive for an end cost type of scenario myself.
Yeah.
So this deal, so you couldn't do a lease option with this deal. That's what this is not a lease option. Like you couldn't do that with it.
I've done it. Sandra. Yeah. I've done it. I was just waiting on somebody in the group to tell me if they thought it could or could not be done. And then I was going to try to share my experiences, but I wanted to hear anybody else's thoughts or experiences too. Anybody else have any thoughts?
Well, she mentioned that she was not interested in renting. So you're gonna have to sell that to her, and
the way I sold it before was great. I'm not assuming that damn thing. I'm not. I'm an investor. But here's what I will do. I will put somebody that's good in that property that will assume that loan in 12 months.
Mhm.
Now, can we go ahead and move forward with the lease for 12 months while they're getting the assumption put together? Or do you want them to have to wait for underwriting and everything to approve them and then get you cash 60, 90 days from now? Because that's probably not going to happen, to be honest with you. If you could give us the 12 months, I'll put somebody in there that will assume it at the end of 12 months. Okay, that works for me for that particular seller. All right, but I can't guarantee that that'll work for this particular seller. But
Yeah,
because that seller was trying to cram that assumption down just like yours is. Like,
Okay.
it's assumable. There's no reason for them to rent. Why would
Yeah.
they ever rent? They could just assume this loan and step right in and take it over. Well, there's more to it than that. Trust me. This is a
Right.
qualified assumption. So give us some time. We'll rent while we're working on doing that. It makes sense. And the guy said yes. So it's just a thought, If the
Okay.
numbers are all good and all that. So they're see, again, like we were talking the other day, you can jump to conclusions on things real quickly, like, that's not a deal, scrap that. But if you ask some questions and you start being a little more creative by asking these questions, how can I, what could I, is there anything, how could I, okay, then, the picture changes a little in many,
Mhm.
many, many cases.
Mhm.
So good luck with that one, Sandra.
Another thing that I had for, oh, sorry, somebody else. Another
Go ahead.
another thing is, like, I think was it Saturday? No, it was maybe Friday. There was another investor that was talking about how he had reached out to a homeowner about a lease option, and they responded back that there was, they had a tenant in the house. And and I know we kind of talked about it briefly, in terms of what options he had. And I received that same message from another homeowner who said that they're interested in, in a lease option, but there's a tenant in the house at the moment.
Right.
So,
Okay. So
So-
you got two options here. You could jump to conclusions and say, well, then it's not fit for a lease option because I can't put a tenant buyer in there because it's already occupado, right?
mhm,
That's what most of us would do. Or as a creative real estate expert, we don't want to jump to conclusions. We want to ask questions to see if
Mhm.
there are any creative thoughts that come up, that things we could rearrange or change or readjust. So let's do that right now again for Sandra. Same scenario as the other day. Let's do it again though. I'm because we need the practice, and she could use the help. So let's do it again. You call a homeowner. He has the motivation to do it, a lease purchase with you or lease option with you. He's willing to do the agreements. Only one problem: there's already a tenant living in there and they won't be gone till the end of the year. And he doesn't want them to have to move until the end of the year. So what do? Jump to conclusions and throw it in the trash, or ask some questions? What's some questions? What's some thoughts? What's some creativity we can plug into this deal to make it work? Anybody have any ideas? Go.
Can we go ahead and do the deal, and we'll consummate it, the action part of it. That'll give me plenty of time to get a tenant buyer when the lease is over. And the second thought I had was, I wonder if that tenant would be a good tenant buyer.
Right. That I would also give that tenant buyer an opportunity first, right? Is that what hello?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, sorry, maybe it's my screen. I
No,
thought about the same thing too. Maybe that tenant buyer could be that first option if they're interested.
Okay.
But
So
I'd want an agreement in writing with the owner
Mhm.
before talking to that tenant, because if the owner gets the idea, he might just try to do it with the tenant himself.
Mhm.
okay, so there's an idea. We could post date the contracts, do them today, set the effective date for the first of the year.
Mhm.
What was the other option? Somebody said, did I hear another one?
Talk to the tenant buyer, talk to the tenant that's in there. But only after you got an agreement with the owner.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
see.
Justin, you're gonna have to ask questions. You want to find out what the existing tenant payments are. So you're gonna have to work around that if you're gonna work with the tenant, right?
I have tried this several many times in my career, and I am rarely successful with
It's a no.
the current tenant being the buyer.
Mm.
Can anybody tell me why?
You're probably going to
Well, you
raise
know his
rent.
payment record.
Why is the current tenant usually not the new tenant buyer? Usually, in my experience.
Because they're already inside. They're already in there.
They already live there, and they've lived there for 6 months, and they've seen every dent and ding and nail
Yeah.
hole and every drippy faucet and every crooked thing in the house. And man, this place sucks. Have you ever lived in a house for 6 months, and when you first moved in, you're like, oh yeah, this is nice, wall-to-wall carpet, everything. Oh man, this is definitely an upgrade from my last place. Until you've been there a couple, 2-3 months, and you're like, man, this is a shithole. This guy band-aided this thing together. I've happened to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just the only one, but these tenants, they've seen the house, and man, they don't want it. Yeah. Another problem that they have is they ain't been saving for a down payment.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's why they rent.
That's why they're renting. Yeah. So I don't know if option 2 here is that great, but it's possible. It's a possibility. We're just asking questions, though. We're being creative. Anything else we could do? Any other ideas to make this lease option deal work?
Could you find try to find the present tenant another place to live?
Yeah, you could.
That
Probably.
doesn't sound like that's good either.
No, probably not. What about this one? Lease option it with a sandwich. Anybody know what I mean?
You take over and you're the middle guy.
Yeah, that's fine. What's he paying? What's he paying every month? Oh, he's paying $1,000 a month. Okay, great. Well, I could rent that property out for $1,100 probably. Paying $1,000. Okay, well that's about right. Yeah. What's my payment to the homeowner? Well, he wants the full $1,000. Oh, okay. Well,
That won't work.
see, that's a problem. See, he wants me to work for free. Let's say he wants $850. Let's say he wants $750 a month. It's very likely, very possible that he could do that. Yeah, you send me $750 a month. You take over everything. Take over that tenant. They'll be moving out at the end of the year. You could sandwich that deal. Keep $250 a month in cash flow plus any equity you create, and just wait that guy out. Is that risky though?
I'd say that the 250 is kind of low, but for a year, I don't see why not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not that long. I mean, okay, so maybe the guy moves out in January or the end of December, and then you bring in a new person, and maybe they're paying $1,250 because it's a rent-to-own opportunity now. So maybe you're making a little more cash flow. So you could definitely lease option it with a sandwich here and inherit that tenant and babysit him for 6 months or whatever it is. But I'm asking you if that's risky because you don't know anything about that tenant.
Well, the risk is if they destroy the property. I'm thinking.
Well,
if they know the plans that are going to be going ahead, that they said they're going to be leaving in a year. So, what if they want to renew and then you raise a rent and then
okay,
something can happen there.
Yep, all good points. I just did one recently that was like this. So I offered the homeowner a sandwich with a caveat. If your tenant, the current tenant, defaults, I am not responsible to make a payment to you.
Mm. Okay.
I put that in the contract. I'll take it over today. But if the tenant that's in there now somehow quits making payments in November, I'm not paying him for him. That's your guy. You picked him. But I'll help in any way I can, facilitate things. And once he's gone, I'll start making payments that very next month. Is that something we can move forward with today? And the guy said, yeah. So that's, any thoughts on that?
That's pretty good thinking, actually.
Be fluid, be water, be Bruce Lee, man. Right? Be water. You know, you can negotiate anything. See, and I've said that before, and you guys have heard me say that, but everything in real estate is negotiable. Everything. So it's like water. You got to be fluid. You got to, sometimes you move this way, sometimes you move this way. It depends on which way you're tilting the pan. The water goes to the, what is it, the least resistance? Man, I was thinking about this the other day. You know, water, if you've ever owned a house, you've probably, you know, for very long, you've probably run into water trying to get in your house, like through maybe a gutter that's bad, or maybe some kind of hole in the roof, or a bad shingle, or, you know, or maybe a drip behind the wall of your shower. Just a drip, just a little drip, just a tiny drip, barely even a drip, just a drip. It will destroy your entire wall. Water. Yeah, it's powerful. So, you know, be fluid like that, though, guys. Back on track here with my thought. Be fluid like that. Creative. Ask these questions. Don't be jumping to the conclusions. Now, I don't know if any of those options will work good for you, Sandra, on that deal.
Mm-hmm.
But those are some great thoughts about it for sure. I like the one I did where I just wrote in the contract, yeah, I'll take it over today, and I'll even pass the rent directly straight through to you.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't send me one, I ain't sending it to you. You know what I mean? I'm not responsible.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
no problem.
Sandra, just to throw in my 2 cents with that, you may also want to ask them if they'd be willing to share that lease agreement, because sometimes there is a right to terminate that lease if the owner, you know, sells or transfers the property. Sometimes that is within a lease and they don't even know about it.
Are you talking about the current tenant's lease? That might be a clause in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Thank you.
But you know, sometimes these landlords are in love with their tenants. It's like, oh, they've rented from me for 3 years, and I promised them. I told them I was going to sell because I'm moving to Vegas, but I promised them I would not force them to move. Okay, well, great. Thanks for speaking up for me. You know, like you're going to sell the house and make promises. Okay. Wow. I've seen it happen a lot, though, guys. These landlords, they get in these love relationships with their tenants, man. And so, you know, you got to be fluid. You got to be creative. All these good options, guys. Any other questions or scenarios we can talk about? Anybody else getting some weird ones? What do you guys do? Let's talk about this one. What do you do when you get a lead back that says which property? Anybody ever get that one? Like you send out the text, hey, I'm Philip. I saw your property online. I'd like to, you know, ask you some questions. You know, could you consider a lease or a rent or anything? Like whatever your message is, you send it out and they send it back and they say, which property? Rick, you got one like that today?
Yeah. I said, well, initially it was about, you know, 123 Jones Street, but I would be interested in discussing any others that you had considered selling.
Did they respond, Rick?
Not yet.
Okay. Anybody else have any ideas on messages or how you could reply or respond to that? What do you do with that message? Which property?
I'll respond, say any one of them.
Any one of them. I call the guy. That's what I do. I don't try to ferret through it with a text message.
No, text
I try
messaging
to
is
just
over.
call the guy. Victor, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Yeah, text messaging is over. You get on the phone with the guy and you build relationship, and you get that guy to start, unpacking his portfolio for you, and you start coming up with offers for each and every one of them.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm in that situation right now too.
Well, Victor, I just met you on the phone 5 seconds ago.
Mm-hmm.
I got these 5 properties. I want to sell them all, but I just don't trust you, man.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm not going to let all 5 of them. You do this one. You do this first one real good, like the way I like it, and I'll let you do the other ones.
Oh, Justin, I'm quite okay with that. Let's unpack this one and see what we have. By the end of this, I'm pretty sure you'll be comfortable enough to allow us to move on with anything else that you might consider moving.
Okay. Does that sound familiar to anybody else? Anybody else hear those same words coming out of sellers? I do.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 5 properties, but you ain't touching all 5. I'll let you do one. And this is the one I'll let you do. Man,
that's fine.
I don't like it. That gives me a dirty feeling in my soul. And I don't know why, but I don't like it when people don't like and trust me enough to let me do it all,
They just met you 5 minutes ago.
I know, but I told them they were going to love me.
Yeah. So how dare they?
Exactly.
Yeah. Plus, I have access to the title company. So,
there you go.
No title company jokes. Just
mic drop.
Mic drop.
Right there.
So I can pull up all that shit anyway, and I can see all your properties anyway. So so I could probably find them all. So I'm gonna probably at some point introduce. Why don't we talk about Juniper Street? How'd you know about Juniper Street?
Yes. Yep. I have picked up all 5 before though. In one case I remember I contracted all 5. And then the question was do I need 5 different purchase and sale agreements or just one with all 5 properties listed on it? Does anybody have any comments about that? Do you need 5 different purchase and sale agreements or do you just need one with all 5 properties listed on it? Which way is the best?
You need
5.
I would do 5 individual. So I can move them.
It's separate entities.
Yeah.
Unless you're planning on selling all 5 to the same buyer.
Yeah.
You got to have 5 different So
that's right.
You got to think through it. See, these are good problems to have though when you run into them. It's like, what now? I got a paperwork problem. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. We've been going for a little over an hour. Let me share screens here one more time. Let's practice one thing real quick before I go. Before we call today, I got some appointments I got to get to. I'm looking for a cash offer. I need a cash offer. I only want cash. Somebody volunteer. Go. Somebody give me the answer. Anybody? I'm looking for cash. I need a cash offer. I only want cash.
Well, as an investor, I would need to make a profit. So my cash offer would be somewhere in the following range, and I'll probably spit out something like around 50% of what value I know it to be, depending on repairs and our due diligence, of course. Does that sound like something you should talk about, or maybe not?
Good job. Yeah. No, I would not ever sell that cheap.
Okay. Well,
never in a million years. Ever.
Well, that doesn't seem like a good fit. Let's go ahead and take that off the table and call it over. Now that it's over, and before I go, if I were to offer you full price today, would you consider doing something creative with me for the next 18 to 24 months?
Great job. See how he's manipulating the conversation? Yeah, he is. Now we're talking about lease options or something creative. And 5 seconds ago, I was telling him no to a cash offer.
Mhm.
It's that simple, guys. That simple. Practice that. Practice that. I want you to say that over and over and over until it feels natural. Yeah. What's up? Somebody say something? Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. We're going to do number 10. We've done this one before. But I'm going to jump into number 2 here eventually, as soon as we get time. Number 10. I need to talk to my wife, my spouse, my partner. I need to talk to my lover, my priest, my pet rock, my pets in general, my attorneys, my accountants, my brother, my bartender, my baby daddy, my brother and sister, of course. I have to talk to them, my realtors, my property managers. I've got some mentors I need to run this by. And, I really, really ought to talk to the Lord about it. I don't try to make any big decisions without visiting with the Lord first. I hope you understand that. Somebody give me the answer. Go.
Don't be shy.
All right, I understand you completely. Are you available? Are they available to get on a 3-way call anytime soon?
Good job. They're not available to talk right now because my preacher is busy hanging out and playing golf with the attorney and the accountant, and my brother's being the caddy. So, funny enough, I can't get him on a 3-way call today. Sorry.
Well, that's a bummer. Well, how long do you think it'll take to contact them? And then maybe we can get a 3-way call and talk about this.
Well,
what about tomorrow? Does tomorrow sound good?
Yeah, tomorrow would work. They're all going to be at my house tomorrow night for a hot dog cook-off at 5 p.m. And so let's do this at 5:15. We'll put them on 3-way speaker.
That sounds good. So tomorrow at 5, you're going to get together with your brother and the other gentleman or whoever we need to talk to, and then we can settle that up.
Yep.
5 o'clock. All right, sounds good. I will call you at 5 o'clock.
Now, when I call you at 5 o'clock and we go over this and we answer any questions you have, remember, don't forget to time me down, Philip. What happens next?
Right. All right. Well, I got to practice that.
Confirm. So if you don't, you have to follow up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, it's a lot easier to confirm because they're already on the phone,
What happens
All
next?
right.
Okay. So if we set a time, so if I call you tomorrow at 5 o'clock, what's going to happen next?
Well, I mean, if everybody seems like they're on the same page, then I guess we got us a deal, man.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I will give you a call tomorrow and we'll get it done.
Okay, great.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good job, Philip. Let's do number 10 one more time. That one was a seller who actually was set a time with you. He was able to get the team together for 5 o'clock tomorrow night for a 3-way call, all that. So that was a seller that we have an amicable relationship with. Now let's talk about a seller who's giving you the runaround. Number 10, you know what? I need to talk to my wife, spouse, partner, kid. I need to go get a haircut, got to run by the bank. I wanted to visit with those people down there about it, see if they could help me with some other things on my new lending. And, I need to swing by and talk to the minister. He's going to say a prayer for me. He might tell me to fast for a few days and meditate on this. So I don't know. I can't tell you when I'm going to have an answer for you. Anybody? Who's up? Somebody step up to the batter's cage. Let's swing.
I understand you completely. But, if we can't all get together, then, I don't want to waste your time or my time, and, so when would be a good time for us all to get together?
I don't know, Mark. I like you, but my priest, he's hard to nail down. he's always in that little box, you know, people telling them their sins and everything. So he's pretty busy taking notes on people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sins.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. So I mean, basically what you're saying is this is over if we can't all get together.
Wonderful job, Mark. Wonderful job. You took it right to me, man. You didn't take my bullshit. And I give you mad respect for that. Mad respect for that. Somebody else put it in other words. Put it in a different phrase. Mark said it. It sounds like this is over since you can't get anybody together. Can't get them all together. So it sounds like this is over. Great job, Mark. Man, it takes balls. It takes balls to talk to another human that way. But that's what Mark has. He has balls. All right. Somebody give it to me in another phrase. Let's do it one more time. I need to talk to my lover. I need to talk to my priest and my brother, my sister, and me. I can't do it. I'll let you know. I'll follow up with you. I'll tell you what. Send me your agreement and I'll call you back. Somebody go.
Oh yeah, that's not how I operate, but you know, let's do this. Can we get together tomorrow at 5, Justin? Will you have everybody together by then?
No, it's a no-go, man. I'm playing in a Texas Hold'em competition tomorrow night.
Okay, got it. Well, it sounds like this is over for us. It doesn't sound like you're ready to make a decision. Here, why don't you get back with me once once you're serious and we're ready to move ahead with this?
Well, I mean, I am serious. It's just bad timing, man.
Okay, what's good timing look like?
Can you call me next week?
What time next week? What day?
Tuesday's good. I'm off Tuesday.
Okay, and you'd have time to talk to them by now?
Yeah, I'm gonna see them
Okay,
this weekend.
or are we doing a 3-way call? What's gonna happen on Tuesday when I call you, Justin?
Man, I love it. Ah, isn't that great, guys? Isn't it great? Don't you love fishing with guts? Isn't it great? I mean, wow. I like it. I like it. All right, guys, go and do likewise. Any last questions or comments? All right. Tuesday is a follow-up day, by the way. Okay. It's kind of a day off, but it's kind of a follow-up day if you're on my routine. Anything from last week that you haven't tied up, any loose ends from last week, today's your day, baby. Get on the phone and use those 2 objection skills that we just shared and practice, because those are going to come up, I guarantee. Okay.
Do you have a document of that, or should we just are we just doing just the role play? Just take notes as people are doing it. Do you have a document?
Yes, Sandra, that document is in both the Lease Options 2.0 course.
Okay.
And it's in the Master the Phone to Get Property Deals 2.0 course, which you should have both of.
Okay.
If you don't know where to locate those, hit us up in the Facebook group and we'll tag you right there to it or something. We don't want you to go without the tools. If you want the tools and cheat sheets, by all means, use them.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. But guys, one last thing. If you've been in this club and you've been practicing this stuff with us and listening to us for 6 months or 8 months or 10 months or a year or 2 years, some of you, formulas are for babies, right? It's time to wean thyself and step out there. You are the script. They're not going to say, oh, I did that deal with him because he had the best damn script I've ever heard. They're never going to say that. They're going to say, I did that deal with him because I liked him. He was real.
He was like Justin.
I liked his energy. He was believable. And he seems like an honest cat, right? That's why you are the script, guys. Practice it and then put it away. Practice it and put it away. That's it. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Get busy.
Wax on, wax off, grasshopper.
Hey, Victor, what part of Vegas you going to? Like Henderson, Summerlin, or something like that?
You know what? Right now, I'm looking at 2 places. One is in Henderson and the other one is North Vegas.
Oh, I'm gonna have to keep in touch with you. I'm trying to find a property in Henderson right now. My brother stay in Henderson.
Oh yeah, they got a few. Yeah, we'll
I know. I did.
I love Vegas. I can't wait. I can't wait till you get moved, man. I'm gonna come see
Oh
you.
man,
For
yeah,
real.
yeah. Hopefully we can all hang out one day.
Oh yeah, we
Right next to Phoenix.
We will, unless you
Right next to Arizona, rather.
unless I get to Las Vegas and I'm like hitting you up and you don't respond or something.
I'll be like, no, don't answer. It's Justin. It's Justin.
The mastermind will be in Las Vegas.
That's right.
Oh yeah, I'm out of town this week. Sorry, man.
Yeah, that'll never happen. You know we go party.
Yeah, I know it, brother. I'm just teasing
Yeah.
you. When I sold insurance, we went to people's houses and knocked on the door and went inside and sat at the table and all that. And I swear, I set appointment with somebody to come over. And as soon as I got off the phone, I could almost hear him from where I was across town. Get in the car, kids, everybody get in the car, get in the car. The insurance man's coming. All right, guys, have a blessed day. We'll see you.